who are the top running backs heading into week 1 of the fantasy football season. I'm going to give you my top 20. There's going to be a couple names that will surprise you, and maybe this is a little early to do this video as things could change in the coming week. But a lot of people have already done their drafts. They're looking forward to the season. So let's do an early RB rankings 1 through 20. I do new videos every single day, so make sure you hit that subscribe button to stay up to date on all the latest content that will help you win your fantasy football leagues. So with that being said, let's get into the video. RB1, Christian McCaffrey. No surprise, but it is pretty close between him and Dalvin Cook. I think Dalvin Cook is in store for a massive week, but Christian McCaffrey could go for 100 and 100. Nobody would be surprised. He has that upside that no other running backs have. So Christian McCaffrey, number 1. Number 2, Dalvin Cook. Dalvin Cook should have a field day in Cincinnati. He could very well be RB1 in week 1. I would not be surprised by that. So if you're playing against Dalvin Cook, best of luck to you. And if you have him, he could easily win you your fantasy matchup in week 1. The third running back, Alvin Kamara. Alvin Kamara gets Green Bay, who last year gave up the 5th most fantasy points to the running back position, and they also gave up the 3rd most receiving yards to the running back position last year. So we have a receiving back in a game that should be very high scoring, very back and forth. I love Alvin Kamara this upcoming week, so Alvin Kamara, 3. Number 4, Derrick Henry. The Tennessee Titans are playing Arizona. This game should be one of the highest scoring games of the slate as well. Arizona last year, towards the end of last year, their defensive front was really bad. They were pretty banged up. This upcoming season, they definitely are better up front. But like I said, this should be one of the highest scoring games. So plenty of opportunities for Derrick Henry to score touchdowns. Also, he's going to have a ton of carries in this game as well. So Derrick Henry, number 4. Coming in at number 5, Jonathan Taylor. And this is really a stretch here where we start to see some brutal running back matchups for week 1. The theme of the week is really brutal running back matchups. And this isn't the worst matchup, but it's not the best matchup. Last year, Seattle was giving up the 4th fewest rushing yards in the NFL. And as long as Quentin Nelson plays week 1, then I do like Jonathan Taylor. But if he sits, I'm probably going to lower Jonathan Taylor in my rankings. But currently, this should be a game that's a little bit low scoring. He should be heavily involved in this game. So Jonathan Taylor, number 5. Coming in at number 6, Aaron Jones. Aaron Jones gets New Orleans week 1, which is an absolute brutal matchup. New Orleans last year gave up the fewest points to the running back position. And this upcoming season, they're probably going to be right there as one of the hardest teams against running backs. So I don't expect an efficient game, but this is a game that should be pretty high scoring. So he should find himself in the red zone quite a few times with scoring possibilities here. So Aaron Jones, number 6. Coming in at number 7, Nick Chubb. And this is somebody that I want to move up to number 5. I just don't have the balls to do it. Because I'm looking at this game. This game currently has the highest over-under at 53. So a very high scoring game. But what's going to happen in this game? If we see Cleveland get down early, they're probably going to abandon Nick Chubb quite a bit and lean on Kareem Hunt. But if they can stop Patrick Mahomes and limit him a little bit, and get this offense going, him and Kareem Hunt, I envision going to be in for a big day. Kansas City, not very good against the run, so I expect their offensive line to get going if they can limit Patrick Mahomes. So what happens in this game? That's the biggest question mark, is what happens? Can they limit Patrick Mahomes? If not, I just don't see Nick Chubb really having that big of a game. So Nick Chubb, number 7. Coming in at number 8, Ezekiel Elliott. In another brutal matchup against Tampa Bay in week 1, Thursday night. Tampa Bay last year gave up the fewest rushing yards to the running back position on average. So it's not going to be an efficient game. But once again, we have a bell cow back that's going to be involved in the offense, especially in the receiving game. Should be a high scoring game, so plenty of scoring opportunities. So that's why Zeke comes in at number 8. Coming in at number 9, Najee Harris. This isn't a terrible matchup for Najee Harris against Buffalo, but it's going to come down to his offensive line. Can his offensive line give him enough space to operate? I don't expect an efficient game, and this game really shouldn't be that high scoring. But for a guy that's going to be a bell cow, play all the downs, Najee Harris is a top 10 back. Coming in at number 10, Joe Mixon. And much like Najee Harris, Joe Mixon should be a bell cow involved in all the downs for this offense. This is a defense in Minnesota that's going to be improved, especially up front, where last year they were without 3 guys. they're going to be having coming back this season. So it's not going to be the best matchup for Joe Mixon, but he's definitely going to be involved in this offense, and that's why it's really hard to pass up on him as anything other than the top 10 back. So Joe Mixon, number 10. Coming in at number 11, Austin Ekeler. And this is probably going to be Austin Ekeler's worst game of the season against Washington, who has one of the best defenses in the NFL. Last year, Washington gave up the 4th fewest receiving yards to the running back position. This is also going to be one of the lowest scoring games of the slate. So a low scoring game against a really good defense. He's going to have to score touchdowns to really be a top 10 back. So Austin Ekeler for me, RB number 11. Number 12, Saquon Barkley. They play Denver week 1, which Denver should really be an improved defense heading into this season. But also, does he even play week 1? I'm not sure if he plays. And if he does play, is he going to be on the snap count? So really, I feel like this is kind of generous. And he could definitely move down the ranks. Maybe move up if he's going to be 100% with no snap count. But I envision at least a snap count for week 1. So Saquon Barkley, number 12. Number 13, Clyde EdwardsHelaire. Cleveland last year was stingy against the running back position, giving up the 7th fewest points for the running back position last year. But this game should be the highest scoring game of the slate, so I want as many pieces of this offense that I can get, specifically Kansas City's, and Clyde could find himself into a couple of touchdowns in this game. So maybe not the most efficient game, but a high scoring game where I want pieces of this offense. So Clyde, number 13. Number 14, James Robinson. James Robinson gets a dream matchup against Houston, who last year was awful against running back position and really should be awful once again. They should be awful on both sides of the ball. Jacksonville should win this game, setting up plenty of opportunities for James Robinson second half to really have a bunch of rushing attempts. And also around the goal line, he should be involved. It will be interesting to see how this committee works with him and Carlos Hyde, the first game of the season, but he should be a top 20 back easily heading into week 1. Coming in at number 15, Antonio Gibson. And the Chargers defense has a lot of potential heading into this season. Also with Antonio Gibson, we already see that he's not playing on third downs, which isn't great. On top of that, this should be one of the lowest scoring games of the slate, so not a whole lot of scoring potential here. So he needs to score a touchdown to be an RB1 because I just don't think the yardage is going to be there. So for those reasons, Antonio Gibson is RB15. Coming in at RB16, Chris Carson. This is a brutal matchup against Indianapolis, who last year gave up the 3rd fewest rushing yards to the running back position. This is also a game that should be low scoring, so limited scoring potential here for Chris Carson, but he will see a decent amount in the receiving game, which gives him a safe RB2 floor. So Chris Carson, number 16. Number 17, Raheem Mostert. Raheem Mostert is probably going to have his best game of the season here against Detroit, who last year absolutely got gashed by the running back position. Now, they do have Michael Brockers now on this team, but how good is that going to be at stopping one of the league's best rushing attempts in San Francisco? I don't think it's going to be enough. Detroit's defense should still be terrible. So Raheem Mostert, for me, is a very good sell high candidate after this upcoming week. So Raheem Mostert, 17. Coming in at 18, Gus Edwards. And this is a team in Baltimore, one of the best run teams in the NFL, going up against Las Vegas Raiders in one of the worst rush defenses in the NFL last year, and should be one of the worst again heading into this season. Gus Edwards should have a field day on this team, and if touchdowns go his way, he could definitely finish higher than this. So Gus Edwards for me, RB18. Coming in at 19, Ronald Jones. And I love Ronald Jones as a football player. He's better than Leonard Fournette. Should be this team's early down back. Yes, you're going to have Gio involved on third downs, but this is a team that should move the ball with ease against this Dallas defense. Dallas defense should be improved, but still, this offense is so good for Tampa Bay, so they should move the ball with ease, allowing Ronald Jones to really gash this team as the game progresses. Also, this should be one of the highest scoring games of the slate, so Ronald Jones should find himself with plenty of scoring opportunities. So Ronald Jones, 19. Coming in at 20, Kareem Hunt. And this is a guy that I do believe is going to regress heading into the season. But week 1, I do like him. Because like I was talking with Nick Chubb, where if this game gets out of hand, Nick Chubb is not going to play as much as Kareem Hunt, where Kareem Hunt is definitely going to be involved, especially as this team tries to play catch up. But if this team does manage to slow down Patrick Mahomes, I expect both Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt to be heavily involved in this offense, where they're going to run the ball a lot. So regardless of the game script, I envision Kareem Hunt really being a big part of this offense. And for a game that's currently over-unders 53 points, I want Kareem Hunt. I want as many pieces of this game that I can get. So with that being said, if you enjoy this content, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Really appreciate it. Let me know, is there a guy that's missing that I should be higher on that I'm not? Maybe a guy I'm too high on? Let me know down in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and have a great day.